we're here. If you're on Facebook, I'm over at Crowdcast. If you want to chat, anything that you want to have a conversation around, go to crowdcast.io/agency258 and join me here. I'm Russ Johns with Agency 258, and this is Marketing Ideas That Work, a show for you and your talents to be able to acquire and connect with new people for your business. What's this show about? Well, you're going to learn about some of the tips, techniques, tactics, and tools that you can use to improve your marketing skills, to generate business. Isn't that what we all want? You know, building relationships, you know, even in business, it's like dating, you know. Not everybody's going to be a good fit. Not everybody's going to know what you do or like what you do or need what you have, right? So what I want to do is make sure that you have all of the tools and the necessary techniques to make the most out of your networking. You know, Marian, LaSalle, and I, Marian is the co-founder of Agency 258. Together, fun-loving criminals, and we do a lot of shenanigans. We create a lot of enthusiasm around events and activities and generating what we call dairy air in the chair. There you go. And what we want to do is do the same thing for you. If you have a business that depends on events or activities to generate revenue, to bring people into the door, to know who you are, to attract attention. Hey, me. You know, you see it all the time. You go down the intersections, people hold the signs up and say, hey, over here, over here. Over here really doesn't help out all the time. And now that we have an online world, we need a little bit more activity, if nothing more than to listen to what's happening. Let me give you a perfect example. I'm going to give a couple of examples of tools I love that you should be thinking about or looking at. And then I'm going to go into a story about what goes right and what kind of falls off the roadmap. Okay? So follow along, because this is important to understand for your own business. And so one of my all-time favorite tools is a platform that we use all the time called Paperform. Now, Paperform is developed out of a team from Australia, Dean and Dione. They created this thing out of love and passion for what they were doing. And it's a very innovative way that you can actually engage and attract attention. And the way that essentially it's a survey form. And the way that they've allowed it to be used is much more than that. We use it for sales pages. We use it for a shopping cart for collecting revenue. You know, people can purchase, people can share their ideas. You can insert videos, embed videos in your Paperform. You can take your Paperform and embed it into your website. And we have several ways that we've done this over time. Now, the one thing that I really love about Paperform is the fact that it's really very flexible. It's incredibly flexible in terms of what you can accomplish with this. So like somebody fills out a form, you can send an email to a certain address. I can receive a PDF file saying, hey, this is who filled it out. I got it. You can connect it to Zapier, and you can actually allow it to update your records in another program, like Google Sheets. So if somebody fills something out, let's say for an event, you're coming in for an event, you have somebody that wants some more information, you have them fill out a form, you say, hey, what's your name? What's your email? What's your phone number? And then all of a sudden that gets populated into a Google Sheet. Imagine how powerful that could be for your business. How would you utilize that flexibility and the opportunity to create something very simply, very easily, very quickly, and deploy that out into a marketing campaign. Say, for instance, you want to do email. Here's a cool trick. I shared a video on this yesterday. Is we use Wistia. That's another tool that you need to look at. Wistia is a hosting platform for video, because I know that you've all seen it. You get a video shared with you in some way, shape, or form, and then you go to YouTube, and all of a sudden there's 20 other videos playing, or maybe it's on this side, I don't know. Videos playing, and all of a sudden your attention is sucked away from your video and directed to everybody else's video. Wistia allows you to have a very focused and direct approach to watching their video. So one of the things you could do with Wistia is you could take that Wistia video, create a call to action in the video, or you could put a little, a little teaser up in the corner that says, hey, if you want more information, click here, and people can go there. Then you take that video and you embed it in your paper form. Then you take a snapshot of that and you put it in an email, and when then people click on it, you send them to your paper form where the video is actually located, and then they can see the video, they can read the content, they can actually click on a dial, answer some questions, submit, and gain access. So these processes, these workflows, these activities are all part of the marketing effort that you need to think about and consider. So using Wistia, Gmail, paper form, these are all tools that you can actually utilize in order to accomplish your goal of creating a message, a presence, and sharing information with your audience. You don't have to build a rocket ship to build a relationship. Unless you, of course, are Elon Musk, then there's that Mars thing going on. Anyway, so back to the tools. Paperform is a fantastic tool, and I love Paperform, and the team at Paperform are awesome rock stars. So I just encourage you that you can use for Paperform. So, there again, Russ Johns, Agency 258, we can help you out with that. Now, another story I want to talk about is another emerging platform that local business owners, or business owners in general, really should pay attention to. And it's emerging platform, and they're going through some challenges right now that I'm working through with them as we speak on a couple of details on our account. However, I really am encouraged by this platform because of the way it works. And the platform I'm talking about is Alignable. Now, Alignable.com, you can go on there, and what it allows you to do is connect with other business owners that are around you nearby that you may or may not be aware of. And what you are allowed to do is reach out to those individuals through that account and say, hey, I want to connect with you. I want to be able to understand what you do. I'd love to have, there's a couple of automated tasks in there. You can actually say, drop by my business. I'd love to grab coffee with you, or, I'm just stopping to say hi because we're in the neighborhood, And so setting up these accounts and getting them operational may be overwhelming for you if you're not technical. I'm happy to help you, provide you with some guidance and service and support, and answer questions. Those are all things that you can actually really use in your business as a regular business owner, just working to sell your products and services. So Alignable, Now, the other thing that I want to make sure that we cover today in marketing ideas that work, because that's the whole point of this show, is to share some marketing ideas that work. So in Alignable, you have the opportunity to do a couple of things. In a forum, you can actually create questions and ask the audience about what's going on in my world, or I have a challenge and I want some help with this. So it's kind of like if you've ever been on Reddit or you've been on a forum, it allows you, that forum app, that application, to actually capture that single idea and then ask and answer questions along that single question, if that makes any sense. Because that's one of the frustrating things I see about some of these other platforms is, you say ask a question, then you got 20 people respond to it, and then you have to go through and figure it out. Alignable is, to me, a little more user-friendly for that. The other thing that you can do is you can actually put in there your products and services and publish that to the network, which is typically local. So here in Houston, there's 11,000 businesses or so on Alignable. Go look it up, Alignable, ALIGNABLE.com. All right. So go look it up. Look for your profile before you set up, because they've planted several businesses in there that you may be able to just say, hey, this is my business. I'm not crystal clear. I've set up my own businesses. Agency 258 is there, and so it's now pointed to Marian LaSalle has Painted Path Designs, which is her web development company. So for some reason, those two accounts are confused, which brings me to my other point. And I'm super guilty of this. And I'm just, here, hey, I'm doing a rant and a rave and a, act of forgiveness here. So I'm completely guilty of not focusing on one thing at a time and generating a ton of content, a ton of information that doesn't necessarily all come together. And part of that is because I'm creating content for a lot of different people. So when I'm focused on their activity, it's great because I have one focus to work on at a time. And if I work on one client at a time, go back and forth, everything's good. When it comes to my stuff, though, I have a lot of different interests. I'm a professional squirrel hunter. Squirrel? So I have to really regulate myself in order to accomplish my goal of having focus in my business. So Alignable. Let's come back to Alignable. So I went on that rave, that squirrel hunt, and now I'm back. Come back. So Alignable is growing. They're expanding. They started out in Boston. Eric Groves is the CEO. He was part of Constant Contact. They recently sold, so he's now starting this business. There's several talented people in this organization, and they're growing. I think they've been around for a while now, and they're just picking up some steam. So I encourage you to go check it out. One thing that I found, though, is, and the difference between Paperform and Alignable is Paperform has chat feature on their website. It's produced by a company called Intercom, and they are very responsive. If you go in there and they're constantly updating their help files, and they're constantly being very proactive in their accounts, and they're very, very prolific in their details of what you need to do with the account, how to process your information in Paperform. And if you need a question answered, then 9 times out of 10, you type it in, they answer. If they're not available immediately, they say, hey, we'll answer you within a couple of hours. And always, a couple hours go by and they they respond. You have an answer. You at least have some knowledge about when and how they're going to connect with you. You're not left in the dark sitting, waiting, and waiting some more. So this is a challenge for some companies, and this is the challenge I see for Alignable right now. I love the company. I love the idea. I will continue to work with this platform in order to generate relationships in the business community. And so one of the things that they're working on, or at least I hope they're working on, I gave Eric some feedback on this, is you have to get some way of communicating. We're knee deep in tech support tickets, whatever it happens to be. As long as somebody receives an answer or at least a response to something that's going on, it allows them to understand, okay, I know somebody heard me. Yes, I have a pain. Somebody heard me, and here we go. I can be patient as long as I know that somebody's paying attention to my request, if somebody is listening to what I'm doing. So last week this problem came up, and I'm going to call it a problem. I'm not fond of that word, because like challenge and obstacles breed opportunity, right? So it's a mindset thing. However, Alignable, we went on the account yesterday, it was last week. It was like last Thursday. We started noticing Marian's account, Painted Path Designs, was coming up and connected to Agency 258. It's like, oh, that seems odd. Why is that? And now, mind you, that I've actually created questions in the forum. I've published products. I've connected with all these people. I've built relationship. Marian's been working in there. She's been doing a lot of stuff, connecting, booking appointments, actually booking appointments with business owners. All this activity is going on. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and the account is like missing. So it's like, that doesn't seem to make sense. So what I did was I created another user in marketing and changed the landing page and everything back to agencies. Everything worked fine for about a week. And then last Thursday, I think it was, it's like every time I type in Agency 258, it would come up Agency 258 and Agency 258. And one was obviously Painted Path Designs logo. And when you click on Agency 258, it would go to Painted Path Designs. So it's a database issue, and there's just a minor glitch someplace. A record is pointing to the wrong record. It's not a big deal. No reason to panic, right? No reason to panic. The sky is not falling. However, so I sent off, it's like, okay, well, how do you get in contact with these people? They're using Zendesk. Zendesk, you open it up, and the only option they have is to read their help files. Well, that's cool if your challenge, your problem is typical, PEPCAC, person in between the keyboard and interface. It's like, hey, where's the any key? I mean, I get it. I understand. Maybe it's a minor issue. Maybe I just didn't see the button. I don't know. That's what those help files can do to help you. However, this was a bigger challenge, and I wanted to contact somebody in a chat. I mean, I'm not big on phone calls, or I don't want to call help desk and wait in the queue, baloney. I want to just chat with somebody and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. I do a screen record, I do a screencast and share a couple of things and send it to them, send them a link and say, hey, here's what I'm seeing. This is the challenge I have. Easy peasy, handle it, right? So I did that. No, I reached out, put it in the forum, no response. So no response on Saturday. No response on Sunday. So no, crazy. So what I'm looking at is no response. So Sunday, what do? I go hit on Twitter. I connect on Twitter and I say, hey, anybody working today? Anybody doing? And this goes back to the marketing ideas that work. Full circle, folks, is that you have to listen. If you're going to be on social media, you should probably listen. And I know people are busy, things are going on, there's lots of activities taking place, and there's a lot of opportunity out there to generate revenue if you just pay attention and let people know that you're there, and let you give yourself an opportunity to listen to them and respond back and say, hey, I know I heard you. I want to be able to help you, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Right? So Sunday, I connected with them on Messenger, on Facebook. You can't post in their business platform. So it's like, okay, no big deal, people, Sunday. I'm not expecting the miracle. They're Boston-based company. They're, growing company. It's like, yeah, I'm not expecting a response back immediately. However, at some point in time, I'm expecting a response. So just out of curiosity, I look on LinkedIn. Who do I know on LinkedIn that is part of this company? Well, I'm not directly connected with anyone. However, I see CEO Eric Groves, Groves. And so I sent a request. I've got a few connections on LinkedIn. So he actually accepted my request. And so I sent him a direct message. Now, this is the CEO of the company. I sent him a direct message because they're always working, right? Executives are always working. CEOs are always working. If you're entrepreneur, solopreneur, wantrepreneur, you're out there doing something. So he heard me. He said, oh, sorry you're having any challenges, Russ. Send me an email. Okay, great. Eric, very cool. So what do? I create a screencast of everything that I'm looking at, the challenges that I'm having, and the disconnect in the application. And so I take that and I put it in an email and I send it off to Eric. And he's great. I mean, he was very responsive. And so I sent it off to him and he says, somebody will get a hold of you in the morning, or somebody will contact you from our success team. I'll send it off to our success team. So, yesterday was Monday, and didn't hear anything back for a long time. And then finally at like 2:00 in the afternoon, which would be 3:00 East Coast time, I get a message back from Messenger. Hey, somebody from our success team will be with you shortly. Cool. That's awesome. Still haven't heard from the success team from Eric's email. I'm thinking if I were a part of the success team and the CEO sent me a message to connect with somebody and help them fix their problem, I would probably respond to that email. I don't know. I just anticipate that they open their emails from Eric, who is the CEO of the company. I don't know. What do you think? So anyway, all full circle. It's Tuesday. It's noon. That's 11:30 Central Time. That's 12:30 their time. as of 10 o'clock, last time I checked the email messages, still have not heard anything back. I've not had anyone reach out to me, and never has anyone returned anything on Twitter from me. So to me, or any of my responses, you know, and I'm just thinking to myself, we're all on social media, and social media has to be a two-way conversation. A lot of times what we're doing is broadcasting our attitude, our abilities, our enthusiasm, sharing ideas, blasting it out to the world. And I'm so guilty of this. I'm so guilty of this. I'm not calling the kettle black. I'm just saying, let's reflect on how we're utilizing social media and how we're building relationships in our business. And the best business you can build is one that you have a relationship with. You know, people do, this is said, you know, for a lot of years. And you do business with people you know, like, and trust. And one way to do that is listen to them. Sometimes people just want to be heard. Sometimes people just want to understand that you know they have a problem. Sometimes it's not even, it's a simple problem. It's a simple issue. And so just take a moment, and instead of shouting out to everyone, listen. And this is, I'm taking my own advice. You know, this is a pill I need to swallow. You know, you're hustling out for business, and you're trying to grow things, and you're trying to juggle balls and get things done, and, you know, squeak to the next thing, and, you know, run. There's always an activity you can put time on to, and just slow down a little bit and listen to what your customers and your clients and your patients and your people and your community are saying. Take time to develop that relationship, connect with them, and do what you can to hear them, even if it's just a tweet or a post or an Instagram image. You know, acknowledge their effort, acknowledge their time, and acknowledge them, because what we really want to be is heard. So, hey, it's wrapping up. Marketing Ideas at Work is every Tuesday Central Time. Agency 258 is honored to help you with your marketing ideas. And, you know, a lot of people may not be able to hear this show or watch this program at its scheduled time. However, I do appreciate you when you do watch the program and you do actually have a moment to review this information, because we think it's valuable, and, you know, we would like to be heard as well. So I'm Russ Johns with Agency 258. Marian, LaSalle will probably be back next week. And I love the fact that you're here listening right now. If you're here right now, hats off to you. All right? Hats off to you. And I'm Russ Johns, and you enjoy your day. All right? Hey, I can end this broadcast now. I'm going to end that one. How about Facebook Live? Yes, stop the broadcast.